Hey there, Rush fans. This is Mark Benetti alongside you for your latest edition of Behind the Bench, presented by Assurance Solutions, where we ask your favorite Rush players questions you've submitted to us on our social media platforms. This week, I'm joined in a special one-on-one edition of Behind the Bench with one of the newer Rush forwards, Kale Kerbashian. Kale, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. As you can see right behind us, the Allen Americans are practicing for tonight's big game, a huge one, but the team's on a hot streak, 10 games in a row. They've scored first, 7-1-2 record. Give us just your overall thoughts on how the season's progressed so far since you come to the team.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few games where you'd like to hope for the bounce to go the other way, but other than that, I mean, you can't complain too much. There's been so many good players, and I'm just happy to be part of it, and hopefully it can keep going forward.
So what ultimately led you to the Rush, coming obviously by virtue of trade, but what eventually led you to this specific team in your trade?
You know, I couldn't tell you. I heard a bunch of teams. Honestly, I didn't hear Rapid City until it happened, and I didn't know what to think right away. I looked into it. I heard great things. I come from a small city, so like I said, I love it so far.
And obviously, it's a quick change of gears for you. You go from a team in the Evansville Icemen that doesn't, unfortunately, have a playoff shot to a team that not only is fighting for their playoff lives, but now they're 2 points behind second place. As a player, what is that like to change gears from just simply playing the game to a fierce battle almost every night?
Yeah, it's fun. I think it brings out the best in me and everybody else when you have a reason to get that win. I mean, obviously a little bit more reason, and like I said, it brings out the best in the team, and it's exciting to come to the rink when you're in a race like that.
Your first memory in a Rapid City Rush uniform is actually a very cool experience. It was your first shift, your first shot, your first goal against the team that you had just won 2 back-to-back championships with in AA hockey. Walk us through how that entire experience went in that small amount of time.
Yeah, they're practicing behind us right now, so I'm sure I'll talk about it with a few boys after this. But I mean, my parents were in town, and actually the Allen Americans bus driver, Scotty, passed away earlier in the year, who was a close friend of mine when I played there, and I seen his wife before the game, and I said, I'll try to score one for him, and first shot of the game, and it's weird when stuff like that happens, and first shot, first new team, and kind of gave me chills, so it was a nice moment.
Well, we'll take a quick break, folks. We'll come back with the second half of Behind the Bench after a word from our sponsors.
My job at Assurant involves keeping our customers informed at a time when they need us the most. I care about doing a good job for my company, but mostly I care about the people I serve. I found the same spirit of caring in a lot of my coworkers at Assurant. In the communities where we operate, we get involved with outreach groups and local charities. The same teams that are so good at helping our customers are also hard at work helping out in our neighborhoods. I think if I had to tell somebody one thing about Assurant, I'd say we care.
And we're back with your second half of Behind the Bench, presented by Assurance Solutions, a special one-on-one edition with one of the newer Rush forwards, Kale Kerbashian. Kale, obviously coming to the Rush, you were reunited with a couple of former teammates of yours, the first one being Daniel Tatro, the captain who was unfortunately injured at the time, but somebody that you won a championship last year with this Americans club. You're about to play tonight. What's it feel like being reunited with Danny Tatro?
Yeah, I mean, last year going through the playoffs, like I know he hasn't won and semi-pro, so that was a big reason for the championship last year is, you know, win one for Tetsi, because we didn't know if he'd play again, and let alone play again, let alone play with him. So it's nice to see him again. We don't live too far apart in Canada, so we're pretty similar. We come from the same grounds, and he's a great captain, and I think he's pretty happy to have me here. So things are going great. I'm very happy.
Another gentleman you're reunited with was your roommate with the Evansville Icemen this year, Kevin Harvey. Clearly a gentleman that just simply loves to have fun. You have to walk us through the experience of what it's like to live with Kevin out there.
Yeah, you know, when he walks in a room, everybody knows he's there. So I'm pretty, you know, I think the guys down below us can have spotted me, so I can hear them in the back a bit. So hopefully we stay focused here.
Last question for you, Kale. 13 games to go in the season. Another big 3-game set this weekend against the Americans. What's it going to take the last 13 games to finish this playoff push, close it out, and go for the postseason?
I think just day by day. I mean, we have Allen in town this week, but I really don't think we're too threatened by any team. I'm pretty excited to get going, and I think we're the threat right now, and teams are taking notice. We got rid of a lot of weapons, and it's exciting to come watch, and I'm excited to be part of it right now.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Cale. Great to have you on the program. That'll do it for your latest edition of Behind the Bench, presented by Assurance Solutions. Don't forget to submit your questions for your favorite Rush players on our social media platforms.